Hey, Loco sports fans, welcome to a Wednesday night edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown. It's a little sparse here at the top, just me and Marcus Walsh with you tonight. I'm Justin Jarrett, founder of Loco Sports, and Wes Kerr will be joining us shortly. He just got out of a movie, went to see a movie tonight, so
Nice.
he's missed the first few innings of what's been another very good World Series game so far. Gary Varsho's son, just with a triple down the right field line. Dalton
There you
Varsho
go.
looking
Dalton
three,
getting
looking
after.
three out of the box. Named after, you know who he's named after?
Not a clue.
Remembering a baseball dude from our childhood, Darren Dalton, former Phillies catcher.
Okay.
He and Gary Varsho were buddies, and so Gary named his son after Darren Dalton. Dalton Varsho.
There you go.
Also, fun fact about Gary Varsho and Dalton Varsho: he was born 9 months and 2 days after Gary Varsho's last Major League Baseball game.
How about that? Wow.
What a coincidence. We'll let you figure that one out for yourself. But
Yes, indeed.
Varsho
And
has
and if it takes
scored.
too long, mm,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, he retired and yeah, 9 months later, started making his own little ball player.
That's right.
Well, I guess he started right away.
Uh,
But anyway,
yeah.
we're gonna
He
stall
needed
for
a
a
night
little
of
bit.
sleep first.
Yeah, 2 days. Took a couple days off. Yeah, I just need one,
Uh,
Skip. Just give me one, Skip. Oh, Lord of mercy. So we're gonna talk about things like that, I guess, until Wes and Max
I
get here to
guess.
steer the ship back where it needs to go. But anyway, this is the Loco Sports Lowdown, a podcast ostensibly about local sports in the Low Country, and we got some good stuff to talk about tonight. We got some
Yeah,
volleyball
we
playoffs,
do.
unfortunately, into the road for our volleyball teams tonight. May River and Bridges Prep both bowing out to just really good opponents. Just Brett Macy, our friend, the AD over at Bridges, said Atlantic Collegiate was just the better team. They
Yeah.
earned it tonight. And sometimes it's like that. I mean, when you get that deep in the playoffs, eventually you run up against your match. And when they play their best game, you might play yours too, and they're just a little
Yep.
bit better. So great run for both those teams. May River falling 3-1 tonight to Gray, and Bridges falling 3-0 to Atlantic Collegiate. So it was great talking last night with Coach Hedrick and the Rick sisters, who have been tremendous for them.
They
Best of luck to them at the next level.
Yeah, they seem to be. I listened to a little bit of that last night and then kind of chimed in via the interwebs towards the end of the show. It seems like May Rivers really got something going there in terms of volleyball. And just, I got to see some extra sports of theirs, obviously, throughout the entire season, or throughout the entire school year, rather, last year, with the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I saw a little bit of May River softball and a little bit of May River baseball. Great Collegiate is another team that
Oh,
just really impresses
powerhouse.
me
Yeah.
with what they can do at all different levels of
Yeah.
athletics. I mean, they've got really good basketball from
Yeah.
what I've kind
Well,
of
I mean,
gathered, and we
that's
know
one
the
of
spring
those
sports are
hot
really
button
good too.
issues, right? They're in the same family as Atlantic Collegiate and Oceanside Collegiate and
Yeah,
that group of charter schools that we're trying to figure out how to deal with them. And Gray was in 2A for a while, played Whale Branch in a 2A state championship
wow.
when Nick Pringle was there, which is crazy. Because they're in Columbia and they're getting a lot of really talented kids from various school districts up there. So that's what's been complicated about that whole charter school thing. And we've got now the 3x multiplier, which has bumped some of those schools up one or two divisions, Gray up to 4A now. And I think it's a much more level playing field.
Yep.
But you still see where they're still competing at a very high level, and we may still get to a place where these charter schools are dominating state championships, and we have to readdress that. And on that subject, there's been Georgia kind of fought this issue before we did, and they decided to do at one point was have a separate championship for the private and charters, I think. but I don't think that ever came to pass. They ended up, they stayed in the division. Now you're seeing some schools going back the other way. I saw Savannah Country Day is leaving the GHSA now and going to the GIAA, the Georgia equivalent of SCISA.
Yeah,
Um,
independent.
yeah, and I wonder if there will be more that go that direction, because what they're finding is they're getting put in situations where their travel just doesn't make sense, and stuff like that. So it's a question of, if you want to in Georgia, if you want to compete against the very best, you got to play GHSA, and
Yep.
in South Carolina, it's kind of the same. Um, at a certain level, maybe not to the degree Georgia is, but they're starting to see a little bit of backlash against that, and the private schools starting to move the other direction. So, that's going to be a moving target for a while, I think,
No
as
question.
we figure out this landscape.
Yeah, no question about it. And that was just going to be my thought there about those schools all having to be private, just like we see with SCISA, with the schools that are, related to some church affiliation one way or another. That's what you typically think, or at least me, looking at the glance of it, that's what you typically
Right.
think of when you think of a private school. Um, so yeah, it's nutty. It in spurts, certainly, with the fact that I think it's every 2 years everybody gets reclassified, or most
Right.
everybody gets reclassified here in South Carolina for sure, and I'm
Yeah,
sure the
yeah.
same thing
Every
goes
two
for Georgia.
years, they go down. They
Yeah,
stack them back up and divide them back out. Um, and so we're coming up against that. This is our second year of this alignment, so
right.
we'll be seeing
That'll be
that
here before we know it.
realignment later in this school year.
Right.
Once the what is it, the 45-day enrollment comes out, and then the 135, I think, is what it officially ends up getting based off of. So that'll be coming second semester, and we'll see our rollout for, and then there's appeal process, and it ends up taking a few weeks to get it all settled. But the big question I think for us is whether May River can stay in 4A. We're always worried they're going to get too big and have to go to 5A. And I think that's a concern for Beaufort County too, is to try to keep that
Absolutely.
enrollment balanced where you keep all those schools in 4A. I would love to see Battery Creek somehow level into 2A with Whale Branch. I think
Yes,
that
that
would
would
be
be
great.
awesome.
They would be much more competitive at that level. But I don't know where the enrollment numbers are to know if that's even realistic. But certainly we're going to have to see, they're doing, Beaufort County is doing zoning meetings and stuff to talk about that now, as they try to figure out the population in Bluffton and how to divide it. And I'm guessing that that's part of the metric, is trying to keep kind of similar enrollment numbers so you keep teams in the same classifications.
I wonder if Ray Alonso would have any insight on that. I'm thinking with the fact that he
Doubtful.
teaches and whatnot, maybe,
He,
but I kind of agree with you that he probably doesn't know enough or have enough info
he
on the
probably has a
inside
little
when it
bit,
comes to
but
that.
probably not at the level that would shed any real light, I wouldn't think. But I think that's more in the district building, where those conversations take place. But he would definitely know more about enrollment. But gosh, I couldn't tell you what our enrollment is right now. I can
Yeah,
give you an estimate, but I can't give you. Um, I can get you within 100, but maybe not 50. So I don't know how useful how useful a day-to-day in the grind teacher would be on that, but he might know. But anyway, we got on a good little tangent there. There you go.
we did.
If you missed it yesterday, Hilton Head High girls winning the golf state championship by 30 shots over May
Man,
River. Incredible showing from
that's
them.
something.
Harper Hedden, the individual state champ, she shot 2 under in the final round, 1 under over 2 days to win it by 6 shots over Haley Zhao from May River. And then I'm sure Wes and Max would love to chime in on this, but they're not here. So we're going to move on without them. USCB basketball is right around the corner. And, after the last 2 years kind of being dissed by the conference and picked to finish last one year, and then I think next to last year, the Sand Sharks went all the way to the Peach Belt Conference Championship, the men, and this year they got their recognition. They're picked to finish second in the preseason poll in the Peach behind North Georgia,
Hey,
the team that knocked them off in that championship game last year. And Aiken was picked third. The Sandtreks did not get any first place votes, and Aiken did get two, which is interesting. USCB had two players named to the preseason all conference team. That would be Dominic Eason, who had a sensational freshman year last year and is back for year two, and then Kevon Price, who's been one of the OGs and will be a senior leader this year. Both those guys, terrific players, and they got a bunch of young guys that have come in. Well, young and not as young. They have transfers from every level. Prep school kid, they got high school kids, prep school kid who like averaged like 25 a game and this apparently crazy scorer. Couple JUCO guys, D2 transfer, D1 transfer. So they've got
okay.
a mixed bag of guys coming in. Australian point guard from College of Charleston, and a big Australian wing who can shoot the three. So going to be a fun team to watch again this year, I expect. And we're working on the Ville takes over the Cove night, looking like
Oh,
December 10th when
okay.
Augusta, the hated Augusta, what are they, the
I like it.
Jaguars? They come to town
That's right.
and they have Dip Metris as their coach. Nobody likes him at USCB, so we're gonna put our students behind him and let him troll him. Put the band back there. The Ville's gonna take over
Yeah,
the Cove.
he was the guy that had that crazy. It was a crazy. I think it was a Saturday game, wasn't it? Saturday
Yes,
doubleheader, and
yes.
he was just
He
going nuts like the entire
every
game
time.
with the officiating.
Every time. Every time. We're two for
Yeah.
two at our place, and apparently it's like that everywhere he goes.
Wow.
And yeah, so they like to razz him, but he's like a legend in the conference. Everybody loves him, but man, they love to razz him during the game. So it's fun. It's fun.
And your first
He's a
call's
great
coming up
foil.
real soon, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're doing the scrimmages, so I think we're not until the first women's game that we'll call is like mid-November. But
Okay,
they
so
do have
you
a
got a few games.
scrimmage on November 8th at home against Claflin, and that'll bring Takoya Hayward back to the Loco.
Hey now,
So she's a Claflin, so that'll be cool. And of course, Courtney Campbell. Heard she's meshing in quite well and
cannot wait
starting
to
to
see her
figure out her role. So
USCB uniform.
excited about that. I don't think the women's poll came out yet. It must be coming tomorrow. I didn't see. I don't think. Let me see. Oh yeah, it did. The women picked to finish eighth this year, ahead of two teams. So that three teams, excuse me, because Middle Georgia has come in now. So we got 11 teams in the Peach. That is an improvement over where they've been picked in, where they've finished. That'll get them into the tournament. That would be good stuff. Let's see. Nobody on the first team preseason all conference, but that's not a huge surprise. Um, Although Katozi certainly could have warranted consideration there. But when you're only picking five players from 11 teams, it's pretty hard to crack that preseason all conference team. That's why USCB
Yeah.
men having two on there is pretty incredible. So anyway, that is coming up fast. The women, they start their season at home on November 14th and 15th with home games against Ferrum College and UVA Wise. So they'll be home a lot early. The guys are on the road a good bit early. The guys are actually going to Puerto Rico
Oh
like
wow.
this week for some preseason training and going to meet up with old pal Ali Ralat down
There
there
you go.
playing professionally. So, yes, basketball is near. Andres Jimenez doing Andres
Indeed.
Jimenez things, but they couldn't get the out.
He sure is.
I thought of you when he got that big hit last night. Uh, Toronto clinging to a 3-1 lead with two outs. Oh, bounced one, but blocked it up. Alejandro. Have you seen that meme of that fat Blue Jay? And it says, I think that's Alejandro Kirk.
No, I
Like a
haven't,
picture
but
of a real beefy Blue Jay sitting on a branch outside a window, and they're like, look, it's Alejandro Kirk. So good. So good.
That is
Love it.
awesome.
I love Alejandro Kirk.
He is great. I was hoping that the Guardians might
Short
get him a few
kings.
years ago, but alas, it didn't
Short kings.
happen.
So yeah,
That's all right.
that's what's happening with USCB. Sand Sharks are looking good going into the season, and we're looking forward to basketball in the Cove once again. Because volleyball season's over, football
Yep.
season's winding down. We did have some cross country today as well. I know the Region 6 4A meet went off at Sergeant Jasper because I saw it when I went to get my lunch. I saw him out there running. I have not found the results yet, but we'll check out for those. We do have the results from the Region 5 2A meet, and the Hampton County boys and the Bridges Prep girls taking the region titles on the cross country course today. So, congrats to both of those squads. Hampton County girls have been strong all year at the top, and they were again today. They went 1-2 with, let me get here. Taryn Hanna and Randy Vaughn going 1-2. But then Bridges had the next four before Hampton broke it up, and then the next three were from Bridges. So they had four girls under 2209 to edge them for the girls title. And on the boys side, Whale Branch, good showing. Raymond Roel took the individual title, and Roman Vasquez was second, but then it was three Hampton guys, and then Bridges, then Hampton, Bridges, Hampton. Perez Smalls leading the way for the uh, region champ Hampton County Hurricanes over there. And I think I just got results from 6-4A as we speak. There it is.
Oh,
Bluffton girls, back-to-back region champs, edging out Bishop England, but Bishop England took the boys title over Hilton Head with May River in third. May River girls third as well. So Bluffton girls, back-to-back region champs. They're also defending state champs. Both the boys and the girls won it last year. So thanks to Woody Melton for hooking it up with the results there.
Woody Melton. Good dude.
Yeah, really good dude.
Really good
Max
dude.
Araj, the silhouette of Max Araj has joined us. I see.
Yes, indeed.
Hello.
Uh, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
Hey guys.
What's going on with you? You driving back from Beaufort? Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee. Baxter, the Batman punted Baxter. Okay. But anyway, the show tonight presented. You know who makes all this possible? Mickelson Law Firm and WHHI TV.
Yes.
Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our all-star sponsor, the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, and also the official real estate closing attorney of LowcoSports that can help you with all your legal needs at Mickelson Law Firm. And WHHI TV is our partner in local sports, and they will be covering the big game tomorrow night at the Den. May River Bluffton on tap tomorrow night. We are going to get into previewing those games in just a minute, and you can watch that game tomorrow night on YouTube via WHHI TV, and you can watch the replay all week long on your actual television, which you can watch YouTube on your television now too. So what a world, huh?
On YouTube, Fire TV, Apple,
yeah,
Roku. That's how I watch from home, and then certainly, via Sparklight and Spectrum.
Yeah. Yep. However you get it. You
Indeed,
can get it
every night at midnight.
You get it on there.
And, Tuesdays at 7:30, and the WHHI Sports Weekends 4 to 7 Saturday and Sunday as well.
If you want to have a fun night of sleep, just pop that on at midnight, go to bed, and then see what's happening every time Marcus wakes you up.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
it's gonna be frequently. Marcus is gonna wake you up frequently.
You got your own alarm clock going off about every 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like the human version of the snooze button.
Yeah,
boom!
Exactly.
Boom!
Every 9 minutes, whether he needs to or not, Marcus is going to have an outburst.
That's a great idea, actually. I should set my alarm clock ringtone to that. Just be like, "He's going down the sideline!" Just wake me up like that.
It's a 6-yard gain. Sometimes you get riled up and then it doesn't turn into much, and that's when I get a real chuckle. When you start to get excited and then he didn't break it.
And then,
You got a little ahead of yourself.
it's like the
Gus
old.
Johnson did.
It's a high fly ball.
Yeah,
Just short.
Chip Carey.
It's just short.
Fisted. Fisted is always the Chip Carey Fisted series, where he said it out like 17 times. Fisted. Anyway, I don't even know where I am at this point, but we're talking about. I think it's time to talk about football. We talked about the other stuff.
That's a good idea.
We were holding out for Wes, but he hasn't made it to join us yet. So we'll get started with the football. We'll start it from the bottom now. We're here. We got 4 games on tap tomorrow night, and then another 7 on Friday night on Halloween night. But we got 4 tomorrow night, starting with
spooky weekend
Palmetto
of football.
Christian. Oh yeah, Palmetto Christian at Cross Schools, and we've all been trying to talk ourselves into picking Cross again since we ventured out there a few weeks ago. I think it was maybe against Palmetto Christian that we picked them before. Marcus, you and I were talking about it pre-show. We've been looking at the trends, and we can't talk ourselves into it. Palmetto Christian just beat the heck out of Cathedral, which was one of the higher teams in the standings. So as much as I appreciate the growth shown in that program and the progress made this year, I think you're gonna have to wait the long winter for that dub.
You take a look at some other teams that were formerly around that area that we were talking about. Certainly, Buford Academy had their day in 8-man, and you see what they're doing in 11-man now as Wes joins us. I think of certainly Hilton Head Prep, and they had a few lean years. It looks like they're starting to get after it now, and a few other teams on our stage. And I just can't wait for that day that Cross breaks through and, one year where they win, 2 or 3 games or certainly more than that, because I think it's coming. It really is. It's hard to see when they keep on losing, but going back, and one of these days I'm going to, especially on an off week, I'm going to have to get to a Cross game. But, I see the improvements based off the scores, and I'm talking to the players during media day, and I'm talking to Rico McCoy, and they've got something brewing there. It's tough because the patience, I'm sure, from fans and whatnot are weighing, but they're getting there. Trust me on that, and my cohorts here will say the same thing. Unfortunately, this isn't the week, and unfortunately for Cross, it means that they have a 0-10 season. And it pains me to say that. I wanted to pick them so badly this week to get their first and only win of the year, but I just don't see it coming. It just seems like they haven't been able to click, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they've had some games where they've been able to score a couple of touchdowns, make a couple of big plays, and get a few stops on defense to make it reasonable. But for the most part, they're just not.
You don't see a lot of low scoring defensive struggles in 8-man.
No,
You're going to have to score 28 or something to win the game most of the time, at least.
So I'm going with PC, Palmetto Christian.
PCA.
Unfortunately, PCA is long gone. If you're talking about Pete Crow Armstrong, but had a terrific season. But this one, we're talking about the Cross
and
Schools,
Palmetto Christian.
Yes, Cross Schools and Palmetto Christian. And man, I wanna pick this Cross Stingrays team so badly. I mean, you see the improvements that they made just this year, and it's encouraging what Coach Rico has done over there. Palmetto Christian Academy 2-7. Cross looking for that first win, their last chance to do it this year. 56-14, their first meeting. That doesn't really give me confidence at this point to pick them. And they have not quite been competitive in games where I thought they would be a little bit more. So I mean,
Yeah.
I still think they're a little bit far from where they would like to be, and I'd love to see them put up a good effort. I think they have an outside chance, but it looks like it's going to be the Christian Academy with the win tomorrow over the Stingrays.
Max,
Yeah.
are we in consensus?
Yeah. No, I can't go for Cross in this game. I just can't. As much as I would love to go for them in this game, and I think this is their best opportunity to get a win, I just don't see it happening. I'm going to take Palmetto Christian for the win.
All right, that'll do it on that one. Then we've got a sort of a region championship game. JP2 at Pinewood Prep. It would have had a little more shine to it if JP2 had beaten HHCA, of course, because then it would truly be a region championship game. But still, if JP2 wins, then we got to do the tiebreakers and all that stuff. But I'll be shocked if anybody goes out on that limb. I think if JP2 had beaten HHCA last week, we would have all been really trying to talk ourselves into this one. But I think last week showed that they're coming. JP2 is coming, but they're just a step away, from being able to compete with the real big boys.
You're getting close.
They have improved so much. We've talked a lot about how Hilton Head Prep has improved. I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, has JP2 had many, 5 or 6 win seasons? I think I can think of.
They went to a
one.
state championship game a few years back. What year was that? Max,
JP2
with those years. Yeah.
JP2 2018 when Suma was there, right?
Yeah. That's accurate. 18. But no, you're right. I mean, they've won 5 games this year. The most they've ever won is 7, and that was the state championship, state runner-up year.
What seed were they in that year? Were they like a top seed? Or did they kind of?
As a matter of fact, they've only had 2 winning seasons ever. So
no, my question is, I'm looking back because that was right before I started here when
they were a 2
team made the state championship game in 18.
Right, they were a 2 seed. They were a 3 seed.
They were a 3 that year. Wow, because I mean I mean they only had 7 wins and they got the state championship, so they must have kind of been a Cinderella.
The funniest thing is, if I'm not mistaken, I think. Well, let me think about this. If they were a 3 seed, Hilton Head Christian beat them that year. So I'm trying to figure out if Hilton Head Prep.
Hilton Head Prep beat Hilton Head Christian.
18,
and
19.
Dave Adams.
They lost 31-20 to Hilton Head Christian Academy, and then they lost to Carleton Prep. But then, they beat Greenwood Christian and Lee Academy to get to the state championship.
Lee Academy knocked off the 1 seed. That's what it was.
Yeah. Okay. So Lee pulled the upset, and then
they got help. Lee beat Hilton Head Prep. Because Hilton Head Prep backed in.
That was the start of the downturn for Prep in terms of just their.
This was
because Prep beat Christian Academy. I remember.
Okay, so the Prep team that year, it was a weird deal. So they had lost 5 in a row at one point, and then they beat Dorchester, Northwood, and HHCA, and nobody saw the HHCA win coming. I believe that was a Stone McDonald special.
Stone
was played out of his mind.
Yeah.
I want to say that's what happened in that game was 35-19. And then, they laid an egg in the first round of the playoffs against Lee. But, that was Tommy Stauffer, I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Tommy Stauffer, what a tremendous back he was. Number 22.
He was fun to watch. He was quick as could be. Let's see.
They had some dudes that year. It really just allows that era with McDonald and Stauffer were together for a while, and
it was a great era for sure. I called a few of those games
over there, Prep for a couple of years, and
very special.
Phil McDonald, what a workhorse he was!
Oh, I know it.
Tremendous quarterback.
Yeah, he was a dog. Yep. And then went on to play Lafayette. Is that right?
I believe so.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Lafayette, where he played for Doug McFadden, who now is the head coach of Hilton Head Prep. This is a good call by Libby. Paduzzi's HHCA remains the measuring stick for JP2. They kept it close this year. No quit. That was my column for the Bluffton Sun this week. Was about how we opined about whether this would be the year that it tipped, and HHCA was not ready for that to happen yet.
And
they came out and played their best game of the season and kept the crown.
Here's the deal too. We talked about this a little bit heading into this matchup that I called, and Max was there, and certainly Kevin joined us, and Jeff and everybody. We didn't see the first game, at least those of us that are on the WHHI crew. We didn't see the first game because we were at Hardyville Hilton Head that night. But if not for the mistakes of JP2, that game would have been a lot closer than 56-22. So
I think even without those turnovers, I think Hillman Christian was playing the better game regardless.
I agree. I'm just alluding to Kevin's point and reiterating to the fact that JP2's on the come up for sure.
Yeah,
they are
for sure, and they're still winning at the lower levels too.
They did play twice this year, not just once, as Kevin. Some people could take his message as they played once, they gave it their all. Actually, they played twice.
Oh yeah. So are we all on Pinewood Prep? Do we have anything to say about that?
Yeah.
By the way, if it did happen to be that, if it did happen to be that JP2 won that game, and then we'd have to deal with the tiebreaker, I think no matter what, Pinewood Prep would still get the #1 spot just based off of numbers.
Because like JP2 would have to beat them by more than they beat HHCA by or something.
So I think either way, I think Pinewood Prep has basically won the region anyway.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that.
Yeah.
Although I think they usually cap the point differential at like 10 or 14.
Yeah, it was a weird, it was only like 15 at one point, or maybe 25, somewhere around there.
15 sounds
but
right.
Interesting. I mean, you would think it would be a bigger cap, but still, regardless, it's a tough matchup for JP2. Pinewood Prep's offense is still churning at a high level, and I just don't think JP2 has the horses to slow them down enough in this matchup. But it's been, especially against, they didn't really show that out to that level that I expected against Hilton Christian Academy. I doubt they'll find enough to turn it around in a really tough battle on the road. Just that they have to play on the road at Pinewood, so that is a daunting task for the Golden Warriors. But still, I mean, that's a tough game. But look at the scope of this season right now. You go back to a couple of years. I mean, you're 1-10. You're 1-10 in 2024. The wheels were falling off. Nothing was going your way. You're guaranteed at least a 500 finish in the regular season, which is a tremendous leap forward for that JP2.
Absolutely.
That would be the best.
I'm taking the Panthers all the way tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be, by the way, no matter win or loss, that would be JP2's best season since 2018.
Yeah. When they won 6 games. Yeah. So, when they won 7, I'm sorry, they won 6 the year before.
7-5 on the air.
And that's their only 2 winning seasons. So, this is statistically speaking the 3rd best season in program history, which is
amazing.
Saying a lot. Yeah, I mean, they've had some pretty good teams. So there you go. But we got Pinewood Prep tomorrow night to wrap up that region title. But JP2 will be going playoff and
give it their all.
And they will not
they'll
be
on the road in the first round, most likely getting that 3 seed. And
they won't be an easy matchup for anybody. I promise you that.
No, it won't. But JP2. I kind of feel like they'll have an opportunity to potentially battle in that game. I like the way they've come out and played against some tough teams. Carleton Prep, that win really set the tone at the start of the season. But it looks like most likely they'll go to Trinity Collegiate. That's my guess. And Trinity has had a decent year, but I don't think they're far from unbeatable. I mean, they're definitely beatable.
5-4
standards there. So I think it's a possible opportunity for JP2 to go to Trinity Collegiate and pull off an upset if they can play at the level that we've seen earlier in the year. I don't expect them to beat a Wilson Hall or Pinewood Prep, but if they can get a playoff win this year on top of all they've done, man, that would be quite special for the Golden Warrior Nation, and already they've had a tremendous year. Yes, my guy,
Yeah.
Alan Wolf.
Yeah, Teen Wolf on Halloween. I don't know.
Oh yes, the wolf will come out.
Might be a werewolf bar mitzvah.
Well, actually, the night before, but it's Halloween Eve. But close enough.
Wolves becoming boys. Boys becoming
werewolf
men.
bar mitzvah. But it is a Catholic school after all. We should.
Werewolf bar mitzvah is a reference to 30 Rock.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know.
Jordan.
Okay.
I know. I was trying to make a joke out of a joke.
Spooky, scary. Yeah, you got it. Catholic school, they don't do bar mitzvahs. I get you.
Nope.
But yeah, Trinity Collegiate. Looking at the schedule and results, it's a winnable game.
Yeah.
They lost by 17 to Lawrence Manning last week.
They've beaten Ben Lippen. Ben Lippen's not having the best year, but I mean, it's always a decent team. First Baptist is they're down. Dylan Christian. I mean, and they lost to Wilson Hall, Lawrence Manning. Pinewood Prep, they didn't really compete 58-22. So I think they're definitely not the same level as Pinewood Prep. I think they're definitely JP2 will give them a challenge at worst.
Yeah.
I
think so. I think so as well. So that's the two Skeeza games going off on Thursday. And then we got two high school league games, both in our neck of the woods. Battery Creek at home against Hanahan. Last chance for a region win for the Dolphins, who, unless they fix the brackets, the Dolphins are still going playoffing, I do believe. I'm going to double check the bracket here.
So let's see. They'll finish 5th place in a 5-team region, and 5 seed gets
Region 6, number 5's the 14 seed. They go to Region 5, number 1, unless they win.
Enjoy the opportunity to get to play another game and practice for another week, because that's always nice.
Yep, absolutely.
But they got Hanahan first. I'd love to talk myself into a feel-good story at Creek on Friday night, but Hanahan has been playing some good ball. Just beat North Charleston pretty bad. Remember, Battery Creek and North Charleston was down to the wire, and man, I think losing that one really,
that was the 16-13 game, wasn't it?
And that really turned their season. That really hurt, because that was one you expected to get, needed to get. And so then you had to go into the
it was also a game you had to win. Like, you
exactly
that game,
because you knew the murderer's row that was coming behind it, and I imagine they're probably pretty banged up at this point after their last 2 games, and I think Hanahan's going to be able to come in and get the dub.
I agree, and it's just a shame, because you talk about some of these other teams, and Battery
really
Creek
good region,
kind of
a very
right
good
in
region.
there. Yeah, and Battery Creek, they've had some injury issues, and obviously some issues with personnel on the field and whatnot, and unfortunately they just haven't been able to get all the pieces and parts together. I mean, I saw them a couple of times. I saw them in a really good effort, and I was talking to John Hopt at the end of the game against JP2 on Friday, and I said, your team looks completely different, obviously, from August to where they are now. And we talked about it as well. And he said, yeah, and we are. But I saw that game between HHCA and BC competed. It was a slugfest, just a bunch of run it through the trenches, and a couple of big plays broke out for HHCA throughout the night. Very similar to what we saw between JP2 and HHCA for the most part. Few more big plays on the outside for both those teams, but that's what we saw, and BC gave it everything that they had, and it was respectable. 36-20. It's not a terrible loss early in the season, but as the seasons just continued, they obviously went up against Buford. That's a big rivalry game, and they got shut out big time.
Well,
game that we called, and they
had a win in hand against JP2, and then Nabonet broke the long touchdown run. They had some close calls this year. They were knocking on the door.
Right.
Knocking on the door.
With that being said, I like Hanahan big in this one.
Hawks.
Yeah.
Hawks.
Yep.
Boys.
Former region opponent of Hilton Head back in the day, Hawks.
And
Were
Bluffton back in the day.
8-3A back in the day, but
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, this Hannah team has looked they're only 4-5, but
Yeah.
recently they have played, like I said, tough schedule, but they played really well. They dominated North Charleston 52-20, and they compete against Orangeburg Wilkington. They still compete against Oceanside. That's how good Oceanside is.
Yeah.
But I'm questioning, for Battery Creek, there were some positive signs early, and I really thought, they got that big win over Whale Branch like a month ago, and you thought that maybe
Yep.
that
was
would
huge.
turn the corner, but then the North Charleston loss kind of completely flipped that on the other side, and then they haven't recovered since. Even though they've played two good teams, they've only scored 6 points the last two games against Oceanside. Orangeburg Wilkinson. Annie has delivered a strong defense recently as well. Not to that level, but I think the Hannah Hawks have really been playing better these last few weeks, and unfortunately, Battery Creek's the opposite side of that. And it would take some miraculous things to happen for that to flip back to the Dolphins at this point. But banged up, playing against a team that is really finding its groove. Not the best recipe right there for the Dolphins. So going with the Hawks.
To be exact, it was September 26th because it was the same night as the Bridge Bowl and a bunch of those other rivalry games.
That's right.
Yep.
The storm, the night that the lights went out.
That game was not completed, like in terms of fully.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. I think they had like a minute and a half left in the third or something like that.
Yeah.
When they called it, and so who knows how that one would have turned out?
Right.
You never do know. But they got that dub that night. The likely playoff opponent for Battery Creek, by the way, is Loris on the road.
It's a pretty solid team.
Undefeated. Yeah. Max, you on Hanahan?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, look, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I believe Battery Creek, unfortunately, is stuck in a region where they can't succeed, and it's really hard because and it's not even just football. Like some of the other sports too, including basketball. They are in a region where they are stuck playing, programs that are just has more.
You're right. You're right, but don't count out basketball. They're going to compete.
And I was going to say I have some faith in the men's basketball program this year at Battery Creek because I think they can do some things, as well as women's basketball.
But you're right. I mean, you're kind of playing for third in that league.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to get in or trying to get that number 3 seed.
It's
just Battery Creek. We've talked about this. I just think, what if they were playing in that 2A region with Hampton County and Whale Branch? I just think, what if they were in that region? I just feel as if they would be able to be so much more.
That's the better. See, that's what you mentioned earlier, JJ, about just the geographical factors going to some of these regions and like the promotion, not the promotion relegation, but just like fitting teams in spots where they compete better.
Because they just can't compete where they are right now. I hate saying that, especially in football. I mean, look, Oceanside Collegiate is obviously what they are, but even Orangeburg Wilkinson, it's difficult to go up against them because they just have so much more talent to offer for their football programs, and it makes it difficult. Hanahan's no slouch either,
No, they're not.
And so it gets to be to the point where why does Battery Creek have to be stuck where they are right now?
That's how many students they got, bro. Like, I mean,
I know, but it gets to the point. It gets to the point where realignment should be more focused on not how many students are playing.
JJ and I talked about it earlier.
Yeah, we did.
And I think this is going to be a situation where it might not happen next year, but in the next few years, you see a situation where Battery Creek moves to 2A, and that is only going to become more and more enticing.
A good region
because they're going to be
That's a
having
great
a
building rivalry.
Well, at
absolutely
Bridges, it'd be great for them to be in the same.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
and
he wanted.
competition's going to be much more on an even playing field,
Yeah.
which will
I'd
be
like to
great
see it.
for
I just
Battery
think,
Creek.
But the numbers have to
and
be there. They
Battery
can't
Creek's
just
on one
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
just
you
pull
can't
somebody out of the pack and
Right.
move them down.
But Battery Creek's
Like,
on one end
sorry.
of the scale, and then on the other end of the scale, Oceanside Collegiate's sitting as a
Well, they
3A
need to
program
be
when
in
they should
4A.
really be more like a
They-
5A program.
They can compete in 4A and maybe
4A
5A.
at least. At least 4A.
No doubt.
But that issue's that's what we were talking about earlier. That issue's not.
They can hold their
I
own.
just hate it.
That issue's
I
not
hate it
resolved.
so much.
That's
I
gonna
hate
be
it so much for
revisited.
yeah. I hate it
Well,
so much for Battery Creek, because
Yeah, I
it's
do
just
too.
it makes it so hard.
But I want
you know,
to be fair, I do want to say that it is these last 2 years, the competitive balance has been much better
Been better.
than it
Yes,
was
absolutely.
previously.
Yep.
And again, it's not settled. There's still going to be discussion of how well did this work and can it work better.
Well,
And
realignment's coming up next.
and there's definitely going to
That's
be
what
some
we were talking
discussion
about, too.
about.
Yep.
There's definitely going to be some discussion about whether Oceanside needs to move up more, and they'll figure out what
But
the
I think
multiplier
it-
has
I
to
think
be
it
to
should
move
be
them up if
considered
that's what they
rule
decide.
intact. Like you just can't say we're moving Oceanside up, but it has
No,
to
but
be-
what I'm saying is that they can do the math. They can
Yeah.
figure out what the multiplier has to go to
Right.
to get everybody where they
also-
really should be, and then they can
Yeah.
propose that. And if it passes, it passes.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I
but
would
I
actually
just
make
don't think
I would
we're
actually
done
make the argument. I would actually make the argument to move Oceanside to that Division II level of 5A.
Well,
If I'm
aren't
being
they going back
completely
to one
honest.
division for 5A?
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah,
Like, are they?
could be.
Well, I heard something about them going or it was just merging the two, Division 1, Division 2. And
I hope
5A
so.
just
That
yeah.
was dumb. That was but that's one thing that I do appreciate about the high school league is that every 2 years they are willing to blow it up and start over if it didn't work. They do some things like that and it doesn't work and the membership says, well, we thought that would work, but it didn't. Let's try this instead. And they will go back to the drawing board. So that's the beauty of having your member-led organization, right? And not having the legislature or a committee overseeing it is the people on the ground are the ones ultimately making the decisions and they see how it impacts their schools, their teams, their kids, and they take that to the table and go, this didn't work, this wasn't fair, this wasn't equitable, let's fix it. And so that's how we got where we are, and that's how we'll get to our ultimate destination. And like we were saying earlier, there's always the option for the charter schools, if they don't like the way the rules they're being asked to play by, to not play in that league. They can go play in Skiza. They can apply to play in Skiza. Skiza 4A or a
Imagine if all those schools went to play in
mythical
like,
Skiza 5A
yeah.
with just the cream of the crop of Skiza and all the charters. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be beholden to the same expectations and rules that
Agreed.
you are to play in the public school league, and that's your prerogative. So I don't think there's any victim if this ends up going down the road of making it a harder choice for those schools which league they should play in. I don't think that hurts anybody. I think it should be a hard decision. I think they are necessarily stuck in a gray area that's in between as far as mission goes, and in a lot of ways they align more with Skiza schools as far as their makeup and their mission go. So I just don't think it would be a bad thing at all if eventually we get to a point where the charters play in the private school league. I think it's more apples to apples that way than what we have right now. But then again, we got the transfer portal open, so I guess that evens the playing field a little bit for the public schools as well, to be able to attract talent to their programs, build their culture, and recruit.
Correct.
He's talking about recruiting within your own halls and your own building, and he's right. We cry poor for Creek, and with good reason, because they've had the deck stacked against them for a while. But they got a brand new stadium. They got a brand new weight room. They got the enrollment
great
of
athletic director
the
as
other
well.
schools. And so they have to keep building. They have to. They have to get it out of there, like those other coaches have. Orangeburg Wilkinson hasn't always been good in football.
Well, they had a
They are
couple of
right
the years
now
back.
because
They are now.
they have
They
a
had some
great
good years
leader in
a
there.
decade ago. They were very, very good, and they
Yeah.
kind of tapered off for a bit.
Yep. So anyway, we're all on hand.
Let's get to the one
And
where
then the
one we've been-
granddaddy of them
The big
all, the
one.
Bluffton Bowl.
Whoa,
Tomorrow
Daddy!
night we got a 7:30 kick, normal 7:30 kick.
Yes,
correct.
Early.
7:30
Not early for
prime
Friday
time
or
kickoff
Thursday.
Thursday night football. The one that
7:30
everyone
7 for the pregame show.
came on
7
to
o'clock
cheer
pregame
about.
with Forrest Tucker.
That's
And he'll be
right.
back on the sidelines with
All
us
right.
come
Roaming the
come tomorrow
sidelines
night
at
as
the
well.
Den. It's a massive game. It's not for the region title, but it's the next best thing. The winner gets seeded 4 through 6, and
Guaranteed home
loser's
game.
going to be probably 7th. Guaranteed home
Although,
game in
yeah,
that
third will
first
probably
round.
make it, get a home game
I
most likely, but
think
still.
they're probably both getting home games, but you're guaranteed a
Yeah,
home
but
game.
I would
and
think.
then there's bragging rights on the line. This is
For
the
sure.
No
biggest
question.
rivalry in
Well, and
the
if you get the
Lowco.
4, you
Although
get 2 home games, but I think
might
the
say
4's out of
differently, but
play.
other schools might say differently. But I think most people agree that this is the marquee matchup in the Lowco.
There's no question about it in my opinion, and I'm not just saying that because I'm calling the game. This one has a chance to be really good. I'm going back and forth amongst angles. I mean, counting the playoff game last year, it's deadlocked at 6. Bluffton has the edge in points per game, averaging 26.3, and May Rivers averaging 24.5. I mean, it is super, super tight. And obviously, both games that we saw last year were super, super tight. I'm going back and forth just in my
Don't
mind
think it
because of keys, and it's going to be because of the atmosphere and certainly the weather are going to be a factor. It's not going to rain, but the wind is going to be a huge factor,
Cold,
which
blustery.
It's
which
cold
makes
too.
me think, you know, if May River can find an extra spark in their running game,
Yeah,
that can definitely prove to be very good for them.
it has that
Their
playoff
special
weather
teams
feel
has
to
the
it.
edge too. This could be a game that goes either way and a myriad of ways. We talk about it so much on the broadcasts, and we talk about it, the four of us and anybody else that wants to chime in. The trenches, offensive and
Yep.
defensive lines, especially on the defensive side, the front seven. And we know that both teams have that and have the capability to do that. I think Bluffton for sure has more of a capability to spread opponents out, not just May River, but they did it against Hilton Head as well, despite the losing effort. They can spread opponents out, and that would be a big factor for them. And it still could be tomorrow, but they've got the win to consider. So
Yep.
it's the thing about Bluffton too
They're still going
is
to
that
sling it.
they
The
will
wind's not
sling
going to
it,
stop Aiden
but they
McCoy
can
from
run the
taking it.
football
Yep.
with
Yep.
anybody.
And that is a key component because Cordell Holly,
Yeah.
having
Oh.
him back, having that full strength is
Man.
just been such an important factor for this team because when they get good mileage out of Holly, that
And-
opens up even more in the pass game and it just makes
And
this
Aiden
playoff
McCarthy,
really
too.
tough to defend.
Yep.
I've seen him run the ball more and more successfully this year than I had in the past, at least from my eyes. And we've seen it where they
Yeah.
can have a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
trick plays. They can
Yeah.
run it, on reverses with Carnell or Amari. They can
Amari.
run the football and get
They're
things
going to
kind
need
of
to.
getting in the physical sense if they have to, and they may have to come tomorrow.
Max has disappeared. He'll probably appear in person soon. I'm smashing the under on that. 2.5 passes.
Yeah.
No.
I would
Yeah, passes
definitely
to May
take
River?
the under.
Nah.
I mean,
Even
they
when they
threw
were down
2
2
against
scores.
Hilton Head. 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And I should know.
That was in-
Because I
that was
was
in
they were
there.
behind against
desperation.
Hilton, although it was only it was a 10-point game. So it wasn't like too big of a deficit, but they didn't throw it at all against Buford. I would be
Right.
surprised if they threw it more than twice.
Yeah.
Just the way
Yeah.
I think the prop should be set at 1.5.
I agree.
Be a tougher decision then. But Yeah, they're not going to throw it much. They're going to run the ball. We know that. May Rivers' path to winning this game is ball control, limiting possessions.
Tick,
Because the
tick, tick, tick,
reality
tick,
is,
tick, tick, tick.
if both teams get 4 possessions a half, like they're dead.
Yeah.
Bluffton's going to outscore them. But if they can play like the Texans played last week against the 49ers and just eat up that clock and
Yeah.
control that ball, I mean,
I
if
mean, the
Bluffton takes
formula's
the
there
ball
for
and
May
goes
River.
3 and out
These
and
two
May
teams,
River
like we've
marches
talked
and
about it
scores.
before. Sorry, we've talked about before about the contrasting styles, and I think it's never more
Yeah.
true than what it is this year, just because May Rivers
sure.
continue to really implement that ground and pound run game, and they've thrown even less this season. They just don't have the personnel to be that gun heavy, throw it team that Bluffton is, and
Yep.
it's just live or die in terms of those those run plays, and can they execute and can they pick up the blocks? If they can and they really take control of the game, they can grind you down. But I am concerned about what I saw. I expected more against Buford. I really did. I expected more against Hilton Head as well. But
I
this
agree with you
offense
there,
has just
Wes.
been stagnant at times. Now they had success, but what we have seen is teams have made adjustments against them, and they've been able to slow them down at times. Hilton Head, I thought May River was fine against Hilton Head, but the Seahawks came up with a couple big defensive plays. But for just my fear for May River is just teams are going to adjust to what they're doing, and just stack guys in the box and stop the run, and
And even
at
with
some point you got to open up, at least be more creative, and they are in terms of misdirection. That can be difficult for an opposing defense, but I just when you're looking at these two offenses and what Bluffton has done, how they've heated up, they came back from a large deficit. They were down 24-7 against Bishop England.
right,
May River, when they're down 24-7, it's
they're
inconceivable
cooked.
at this point.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah.
them being able to come back from
Yeah.
from that kind of hole. That's just how they're built. But at the same time, this weather lends itself to May River
Does.
can
And the
they
other
can
thing
do
that
a
May
basket.
River really has in its favor is the short week. They
Yeah.
are a very difficult team to prepare for in a short week. And so, I think that evens it up a little more than it might be on paper. We've talked about a lot. Andrew Johnson being out is
Yeah.
a
Oh,
big factor.
that's a
Yeah,
huge
Losing
factor.
him, yeah, that really, their offense has gotten by still most weeks
well,
without him, but
mostly
they're
because
just not as
they still have
explosive.
guys
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
can
they're
carry
just
the
not as
rock.
explosive.
Yeah. But I mean, look, they still have some guys who can run it well. But losing a guy like Johnson, who really was the explosive factor last year and this year for the Sharks. I mean, it definitely does limit a bit in terms of their effectiveness on offense. But Mitchell's been good. They have guys.
Mitchell's
Yeah.
been very good,
Yeah, I mean, he's
and Justin
definitely
Head
phenomenal.
too
good.
really impressed
Yeah.
me
Yep.
in the Hilton Head game.
And they've had
Yeah,
they've
he's been
had
solid.
different guys run a bit as well, and transferring a decent amount as well under center. Like he can run
Yeah.
the option, he can take off.
Yeah, he runs it well.
Yeah.
But I just keep coming back to, all right, how many points do I think Bluffton's going to score? How many points do I think May River can score? And I can't reconcile in
Yeah.
my head how May River outscores them. So
I just feel
despite
like
the
this
weather,
could
the weather's a factor.
I think this is either going to be a grind
take
out
care of the
game
ball.
where May River finds a way to stay in it, get a couple of stops, they eat up a lot of clock, score a couple of points, or Bluffton gets hot on offense and runs them out of the building. I could see either of them happen.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I'll go with the Bobcats. I know Marcus is not picking it, but I'll take the Bobcats in this one.
Yep, and I will agree with that. I love what Bluffton is doing right now. I love the way that offense is churning. They've just really melded well together. The questions were, can Patterson and Warren coexist? Can they find ways to deliver? They have big questions answered last week in that comeback, and I think they are ready more than ready. They're locked and loaded. They're ready to go. They're ready. Hayden Gregor's ready to put another stamp on this rivalry. He's really taken this rivalry the other way ever since he's gotten there.
Yep.
And I think it stays.
Didn't go his way in the playoffs last
They will
year,
paint the
though.
town green. They will paint the town green tomorrow night.
It is senior night tomorrow night, so there's going to be a bunch of performances, pregame, halftime. I think the middle school
I got
bands
Bad Bunny.
are going to
Bad
be
Bunny?
going. No,
Funny.
at least not that I know of. The middle school bands are going to be playing with the high school bands, so look forward to that
Nice.
during the halftime show. We'll have that for you, along with Daniel Court and my thoughts on the first half, and maybe try to get an interview with Forrest, with one of the coaches, maybe heading into the third quarter. All that and plenty more coming up tomorrow night.
Very
Yep,
good. Very
and
good.
our favorite segment, or at least one of them, Jeff Riley's food review, where he gets to go to the State of Mind Cafe.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun for sure.
And what a great I just on top of this, like, just what a great crew you guys have developed. I mean, this has been the best year of WHHI broadcast yet, and it's because of just the added members of the crew, including Max Rise has been a part of it, and so many others. Jeff Riley,
Not
Kevin
just
Libby, the great sideline reporter. It's been great. These broadcasts have been awesome, and I'm kind of sad that this is the last one of the year.
Well, I got to give props
until basketball season
to the two. And basketball is a much smaller production for sure, but we're looking forward to that for sure. I have to give props to the two interns that we've had, and Max and Jeff. But I would be remiss, even though we missed him for a couple of weeks, if I really didn't give props to Forrest Tucker, because that young man has really organized the material that has really worked for Daniel and I. He's gone and spent multiple days at these schools and at the locations, filming,
He's doing the thing.
editing.
He's doing the thing.
He is doing the daggone thing.
Yeah.
MMA style,
MMJ
style,
MMJ, yeah.
maybe MMA on the side, but MMJ
it reminds
style.
me of when Carlo was trying to.
He has been terrific.
Build his reel, and he just went out and did it. He
just
went and did it.
The Lowco rundown.
He even joined me at that Hilton Head Colleton County volleyball match that I interviewed Dustin Owsley at. I compare, and this is big shoes for sure with everything that she's done. I compare what Forrest has done for us in the very short time to what Riley Miller does, because Riley does the same daggone thing, which, oh, by the way, it's hard.
Yeah.
I've tried it, and I have not done well. It is hard. I need a camera person to be with me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's hard.
It's
so,
hard.
Forrest, we really appreciate what you've done. Certainly, again, Max and Jeff have been tremendous additions to the team, too. We're looking to possibly do a little bit more, again, with basketball. I don't want to, put the cart before the horse, certainly, or speak in front of Jeremy or Jessa, but we're looking to do some of those types of things. We've been rambling on for 5 minutes. Max hasn't even made a pick yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's the last broadcast, and I wanted to give you some time to talk about it.
And we definitely appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, Max, are you guys done? Great. All right, cool.
Yeah, we're done.
Look, I've been thinking hard about this game because it's such an important game, obviously. Not just because it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest rivalry currently in our area, but also because of the implications it has for the playoffs and so on and so forth. The thing for me is this. I would say, if in May River's favor, is that Bluffton's been known to start off slow, and that could be an advantage for May River. If they can get ahead enough, they need to be ahead enough that it can be difficult, because if they can control the game and be up ahead early on Bluffton, I think it gives Bluffton a much more difficult comeback than, say, their game last Friday against Bishop England, because I think May River is known to be able to control the game, control the clock much better than Bishop England can. And I just think if Bluffton doesn't start off strong, I don't like their chances a whole lot, as much as I would
By
say
the
if they
way,
got off to a strong start.
I meant to clarify this the other night, and I didn't. Bishop England for that game against Bluffton last week was without starting quarterback Quinn Mahoney. That was their
Oh,
backup
yeah,
quarterback and
that's
starting
Wow.
wide receiver who was
that's
playing quarterback.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Factor. But yeah, that I did not realize that. But yeah, I don't know if we mentioned the polls that came out this week, but I mean,
Well, Max still hasn't made his pick.
oh, I'm sorry, I was just saying Hilton had 7th, May
Yeah.
River, not Bluffton, receiving votes. This
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yep.
What?
Wasn't me.
Oh,
Wasn't me.
okay. I'll be changed up this time next week. But
Oh.
look, I think Bluffton's got the better chance here. I think they need to get off to a strong start because it depends on that. It depends on
agree.
how the game begins. I just
But then again, they were down 24-7 last
Right,
week.
I was
and
about
they
to
still
say
won.
they can come back.
Bishop England is not May River. That's my thing. I
Right.
think
That's true.
Yeah,
May-
and May River beat them.
and I think
Yeah.
May River, it's like I said, I think May River is the one thing May River does really well on offense is they know how to control the game clock. Bonneville has done a really good job at being able to. Bonneville has done a really good job at being able to teach this offense how to manage the game clock and how to take time away from the opposing offense.
They're going to try to milk
And
it.
that's my biggest worry going into this game is if Bluffton doesn't start strong, I don't like if May River gets off to a hot start and Bluffton doesn't. I don't
No,
like
you're right.
their chances.
You can't let them get settled in.
However, I just don't see it happening that way. I think Bluffton's got too much on offense for May River to handle on defense. No matter how much May River controls the game clock, I just think Bluffton's got a bit too much talent. And for that reason, I think Bluffton wins this game and takes the number 2 spot in the region.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a consensus of 3. Marcus is not picking it because he'll be on the call. But yeah,
Marcus, real quick.
I think that's it.
Marcus, real quick. Off the record, who are you going for? Off the record. No one has to know.
You can't make it back.
No one has to know.
He ain't doing that. Don't you even try.
Just playing with you, man.
No, I think that's exactly right. I think you look at it and you see, May River could win this game, but they got to thread a needle. And you see a lot of other ways, a lot of other paths for Bluffton to win it. So,
but I don't. Yeah. The one thing I would say is you cannot be down 24-7 against May River. You are able to do it against England, but you can't be down 24-7 to May River.
But I mean, I wouldn't count them out if it's 24-7 May River at half. I would say that Bluffton can dig themselves out if they start well. Now, I would say May River would have a decent chance if they have that lead, but I would be surprised.
If they got to steal. They got to steal possessions one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to
just
I wouldn't be surprised if you see an onside
game and just taking the clock, limiting the amount of possessions per team. If you limit the amount of possessions, it gives you a chance as an underdog, and that's
exactly right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. All right.
Gonna be fun, boys. Gonna be fun.
We will get to our sponsors now. Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We had a new episode for you last night. Feels like longer than 24 hours ago. Did something just happen ahead of my feed? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm about to see.
I'm
sorry.
I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hudson Seafood House on the Docks, a great place for seafood cocktails and sunsets on Hilton Head Island, and presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We got Twenge and Twombly. Try the slaw and get your po' boy Andrews style. Then we got Twenge and Twombly, our favorite personal injury attorneys over in Beaufort. They've got the rare name, provide remarkable service at Twenge and Twombly. And our old friend Richard Barron, the coach from Hilton Head Prep, he's hung up his whistle and traded in his moving screens, for a new kind of screens. He's improving your view of the Low Country at Hilton Head HHI Windows and Doors. We've also got our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, Reverence Wrestling Club, and Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland whether you need a haircut or not. Yes, Marcus.
If I can add to that, check out the fairly new show on WHHI TV with Jessa Jeremiah and Richard Barron, Your
Oh, yeah.
View of the Low Country, only
Your view of
on
the logo.
WHHI TV.
Oh,
There you go.
I was gonna
Coach
say
Barron's out there
with
everywhere.
that screen pun, it goes from better view of HHP basketball to better views of your backyard.
There you
love
go.
it. That's great.
I like it.
There you go. The Toronto Blue Jays are now ahead 4-1 in the top of the seventh.
Yeah,
after
that's
a
what
while.
I
We
was.
did.
That's why I
Oh,
went.
that
Max
was
Savage.
savage. I mean,
Yeah.
Young
just
Savage.
phenomenal. 6 innings of work.
11
and just
strikeouts.
Yes, Savage.
Rookie World
Unbelievable.
Series record. Tied the rookie World Series record with 11 strikeouts.
I mean, this is
Crazy.
legendary stuff if Toronto goes on to win this thing.
You know he has more postseason starts in his career at this point than he does regular season starts.
Agreed.
And not just
Wow.
that, more postseason
Great
than like, I think AAA or something else. Something I saw,
Yeah.
some guy I saw today on social media. But incredible.
Well, I mean, look at his
He skipped
journey
over
through this
everything.
season.
Yeah.
Started off and
it takes you 1 year. You were in like what, high A ball in the start of the
Yeah.
He
year.
was at high A ball at the beginning of the year.
Your team to potentially get one win away from a championship in the World Series. I mean, just it's
Yeah,
it's,
I mean,
oh
just-
yeah.
He's just.
And
Oh, he took it. Oh, they scored. Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
5-1.
Look, I just want to say that is one of the more incredible stories I've
Holy
seen
shit.
of someone who starts off their
Yeah.
season playing high A baseball, making it all the
Yep.
way up through to the major league
incredible.
system, and has now put them in position.
Marcus
to be
Walsh
one win
remembers
away
a
from
guy
the
who
World
did
Series.
something similar. You're a
I
wee
remember.
lad. You were a wee lad when Levon Hernandez arrived. on the
Nice.
scene.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, I was.
That's
And he
right.
ruined the Cleveland Indians when they were still called that.
Yes.
Ruined their chances. All right. Was that anybody's parting thought? Or
And I wasn't
Marcus
I
Walsh?
wasn't quite wee. I was a little bit older than wee in '97. I was
He was a
I was
lad.
about I was 9.
A wee.
Yeah, that's a wee lad.
Oh, then he's a little lad. Little lad.
You was
Yeah.
a wee lad. You was a wee lad. Well, have you got a parting thought, wee
I
lad?
do, and it's from this game. I flipped it on and I see back-to-back home runs,
Yeah.
and I'm
Open
and I'm
the
going
game.
nuts to open the game. Yeah, back-to-back, as it's now 5-1. But that was the first time, according to Joe Davis, and I think it goes back to when the World Series started, that there have been 705 World Series games
Yeah,
in
this
Major
is
League Baseball
totally.
history, and it's
Never
the
back-to-back?
first time that a team goes back-to-back. It
Yep.
had
start the
never happened
I'll tell you
before
exactly.
start the game.
I'll tell you exactly where
How
I
about
was
that?
when I was. So I was actually, but you'll like this. I was in the Burton Wells press box at the baseball fields, watching this game with Brock Vaughn, and we were just sitting there. Brock's a Dodgers fan. He was living on. Well, he went. His first ever major league game was a Dodgers Braves game in L.A. So immediately then and there he became a Dodgers fan and has been rooting for them ever since. And the face he showed after Vlad hit that home run to make it back to back, I laughed so hard. I was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But look, this Blue Jays team is just unreal. They are so special. This has been one of the more exciting World Series I've seen, because not only is it the Blue Jays and their amazing pitching, but what about the Dodgers pitching as well, especially Yamamoto,
Okay.
who's been an absolute dog. He's been an
Ohtani,
animal, man.
Ohtani reaching base 9 times in one game.
Yeah.
Come on.
How crazy is
Just
that?
crazy anomalies. There have been
By the way-
705 World Series games. Nothing
By the
like
way,
that's ever happened.
someone said to me the other
Unreal.
day. Someone said to me the other day, "Was it worth the money to get Yamamoto?" And I was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
No
because
doubt.
it just a
Ain't my money.
1.5. Yeah, it was like a 1.5 ERA through the playoffs and 2 complete games in the postseason this year. It's just absolutely unbelievable game.
Half of the value of getting him is that nobody else does.
Right.
Correct.
Indeed.
You got to weigh
Yeah.
that into it.
Yeah.
It's been a phenomenal series. Baseball is alive and well, folks. Baseball is not
Sure
going
is.
anywhere. Baseball is wonderful.
Yeah, it's in a great spot right now. I guess the only concern is, the impending labor issues in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball. That's the thing they
Thank-
need to
Thank
get that
goodness we
figured
got a
out.
little while
Soon.
before
Yeah,
that
that'll
happens.
derail it. Yeah.
Another full season.
They got to
Yeah.
fix it. They got to get it right.
Sorry, did you want to get back to your
Gotta do it.
parting thoughts, Marcus?
That's
Yeah.
really the only one that I had off the top of my head. But I will say, as far going back to our final broadcast, I'll put some extra love on my barbershop, Barbers of the Low Country. I'm seeing my guy Darius at 10 a.m. before the big game. Got to get the
Yes.
lineup. Got to get looking good
Gotta be
for
clean,
the
man. Gotta be
biggest game of the
clean.
year. Already did the beard, but gonna detail it a little bit more to match the buzz cut, but coming correct with it tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with you because
Be a
even
big
when
one.
I'm behind a camera for WHHI game, I always want to look my best when I show up for a football game. Always want to look my best.
Make sure to bundle up if you're coming to the game, folks. It is gonna be chilly.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
who wants to go next?
Yeah. Layers.
I have a couple of items. First off, USB Sand Sharks finally score a goal, first time in like 4
Nice.
games. They got one today
The
against
drought
Morrisville.
has ended.
Yeah, the drought has ended. Maggie Olson with her third of the season in a 1-1 draw. So steps there. Although Morrisville 1-11 1 the season, so you expected to give me a win there. Yeah, it's been a rough stretch. One more before the postseason, and they play Embry-Riddle on Saturday, 4:00 kickoff, Florida. So Embry-Riddle's pretty good from what I'm seeing.
Old
so.
NAIA rivalry from the Sun Conference.
Yep.
Yeah, Embry-Riddle's quite good.
Yep.
And we talked about it earlier, Wes, before you got in, but
Yeah,
men picked second, women picked 8th in the Peach Belt preseason.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's some respect right there, especially for the
Yeah.
men's side. Second, and a team that's still first year in as full members of D2.
Right.
Certainly a lot to respect from last year and what they did. So
Put some spec on it.
Yeah, already pumped up for hoops, and we're only a week away from our first Wins game at home. On the 8th of November. So it's coming up very quickly.
I did talk with Gina today. That is a scrimmage against.
Oh, it's a scrimmage.
That's
okay.
not accountable. So
okay.
The official opener will be the following weekend.
Okay.
Cool.
Friday, Saturday.
All right. So okay. Two more things. I have quick ones. Max Araj, I thought of you when I saw this come across, but it's been a tumultuous last couple of weeks in Atlanta, and Kirk Cousins has remarked that he has requested a trade out of Atlanta. He is
good riddance.
He was.
Who wants him?
He was
after last
awful.
week.
God,
Awful
goodbye.
against
Have a great rest of your
Awful.
career, whatever that is, wherever that
They're going to
is.
charge
God
you
bless
to
you,
the
Kirk
Publix
Cousins,
to go
but
back
get
some
the
groceries,
heck
bro.
out of here. Oh,
That was a good one, Justin. I like that one.
They traded him to
my.
Publix for a couple of bags of oranges.
Breaking
Like,
news: Publix has acquired Kirk Cousins for a couple oranges, and that's about it.
2 bags of cuties and a big bundle of bananas.
And then one more thing
Peanuts.
unrelated to that. This is a fun one. So the Savannah Bananas obviously are implementing a new league, Banana Ball League, and the expansion draft is coming up. And actually, they started the process of protecting your favorite players from the 3 already existing franchises: the Bananas, the Party Animals, and the Firefighters. I believe, and the Texas Tailgaters. So 4 teams. Yeah. And obviously the Lowco Beach Coconuts and the Indianapolis Clowns are coming in. So they'll have a 6-team league. And so 3 players, we've franchised or kept on each of these teams, it looks like. So that should be exciting. I believe the fans get to vote on that. It's all fan based, which
like
it kind of gives into the fans first.
Fans first.
Things. Yeah, that's what they do. So
I like it.
And then there's a couple other things. The coaches will franchise some more players, I believe, from their rosters. And then the expansion draft will begin on November the 13th. I'm sure that'll be televised or at least streamed somewhere. Round the first 5 rounds, and then the 6 through 11 rounds will be done the next day. So will be announced, and this is 6 through 11 rounds will not be broadcasted. So, yeah, it's
All right.
exciting. The exciting stuff they're doing over there.
Yeah,
So
people love it. People
they
love
they
it.
they bet
It's
they
passed me
made the
by.
product better every year, and
Yeah.
that's
It's kind of passed me by, but it's great. The kids love
yeah,
it.
because I'll
The
tell you what, there are
the
people who are
baseball
really into that. Like
casuals love it.
they are excited for just that league. I mean, obviously it's not what Major League Baseball is, but man, there are people who are really enjoying what is going on
Well,
with
and I
Yeah.
always remind myself of the players. Like the one guy I saw him post on his social media the other day. I was coaching JV baseball, and now I'm hitting tanks in front of 65,000 people. What is going on?
Yeah.
So that's the part that really warms my heart is all these
Yeah.
guys that are making a living playing baseball for fun again, who were just grinders for years and years and years, and now they get to just go play baseball and have fun. And that's
Yeah.
awesome. I will
Yes.
always love that part of it and the opportunities it has created for those guys. And more power to them. Keep doing
The
it. There's
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
that Jesse Cole and company
Oh
are
yeah,
putting in continually to change things up, whether that's the way we would do it or not. And I had a
right.
chance to meet him a few years ago, and I did an interview with him for WHHI. Jessa, we had an intern at the time, Jake McClave, and the three of us went out and got to hang out in Savannah for a few hours, and it was a great experience. And even though the four of us are more traditional baseball fans, what they're doing in Savannah continues to impress, and it's absolutely
Good.
tremendous. Real quick, I was just kind of thinking as we were talking, you know, I'll be thanking a bunch more people tomorrow for sure. We're missing Maria Soden tomorrow night. Going to be thanking the ladies of the WHHI crew. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Logan Clark, who was another addition to our team this year for football, and he's helped us out immensely on the side of it. Certainly, getting to work with Daniel Court year 5 has been a blessing. Justin Jeremiah has been back into the fold
Yep.
more and doing a bunch. But ultimately, and I feel like I don't even give these guys enough credit. Jeremy Pope and Larry
Oh yeah,
Giacomo working together to
Jeremy
create
Pope.
more graphics to put in lower thirds that you actually see on the air has made the broadcast transformative. And Larry
Yep.
is working really hard on those graphics. He's been doing that for a couple of years. And it's to the point now where they're finally able to get a system in with the lower thirds that they're able to go in. And it really, in addition to all the trees that I end up cutting down because of all the paper that I use and whatnot. Along with that is all the staples that I've used this year, which have helped immensely as
Yep.
well.
The Amazon
Um,
rainforest is gone because of you.
you know what they do to help polish things has been invaluable, and it's been a blast working with this team yet again, and I love it, and really really blessed and fortunate to be here with you guys as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Max, have you got a parting
Yeah.
thought?
I do. Actually, on top of course, USCB's men's basketball team getting number 2 in the preseason poll, we have 2 players in the preseason all-conference team as well. And the amazing, unbelievable Dominic Eason, and of course the great Kevon Price. Just 2 exceptional and very, very important players for the team this year. They definitely were last year too as well. And I'm very excited to watch both those guys play.
Yes, sir.
What was the other one? Obviously, I think we all saw the devastation that's taken place in
Yeah.
Jamaica, of course,
Yeah.
with Hurricane Melissa, which is, by the way, one of the strongest hurricanes ever in the Atlantic Basin. Just absolutely monstrous. But what's scary right now for the island of Jamaica is the fact that all the water in the mountains will now come down to the
Yep.
the coastlines, which makes flooding even more disastrous and more catastrophic. So obviously, thoughts and prayers out to the people of Jamaica, because the hurricane may be out of their hairs, but the devastation will continue to go for at least the next couple
That's
days.
rough.
Yeah.
And so Just wanted to send thoughts and prayers out to that. And then, actually, on another note, I saw this today. Regarding LSU, of course, Brian Kelly, we talked about this yesterday that he got fired. I saw they were actually talking with Ed Orgeron about, the possibility of him returning to coach football. And they asked if he was interested in coaching LSU again.
Go Tigers!
I heard a
And I
rumor
just-
about
Go
Nick
Tigers.
Saban too. Ugh.
And here's my
No.
thing. Here's my thing.
Ogeron.
I think he's a better.
Ogeron.
I think Orgeron's a better option.
They should
than
never
Brian
run
Kelly.
Ogeron out of there. He was always
If you're LSU, he's a better
I
option.
agree, but I mean,
What? He won a national title.
but they're
What did Brian
also
Kelly do in his 40
delusional
years
if they
there?
think Nick Saban's coming back. Come on.
I
that was
agree.
the other
That's
one.
not
without
happening.
That was
question,
the other one.
I agree.
Well, I thought you were going to steal both of my parting thoughts. Jamaica, because we have a lot of teachers and some students from Jamaica, so that's been
that's
on
right.
my mind. But then you kind of stole my other one with LSU, but I got a little wrinkle to throw on top of that.
Ooh, okay.
So you guys may not be aware, but I heard today that the same AD who hired Brian Kelly, Scott Woodward, at LSU, and did not put qualifiers in his contract about his buyout being mitigated by any future employment, is the same one who hired Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M and did not put any qualifiers in his buyout about the buyout being mitigated by future employment. Every other AD in this situation put stipulations in the buyout that if you get another coaching job or a broadcasting job, the amount of money you make comes off our tab. And you have to be showing that you're trying to get another job,
right.
just like unemployment, right? He didn't put any of that in these contracts.
Either you get a coaching
So
job
he's
or you
left
go
two
and
schools
work
on the
in the
hook for
media.
these buyouts. And now the Louisiana governor, Jeff Landry, told reporters Wednesday
I did
that
see this.
LSU athletic director Scott Woodward won't be involved in selecting the Tigers' new football coach, saying he'd let President Donald Trump do it before Woodward. So I think Scott Woodward's going to be looking for a job himself. very soon.
Yeah, good luck, Scott.
If you don't
Appreciate
get any input on hiring your football coach, you ain't the AD, Bubba.
Hey,
Not
man.
for long.
Hey, Scott, if you're watching this for whatever reason, probably not, but I would just say, if you are, good luck in your future endeavors.
Who
because
gives a man a
right now,
$50 million
anyone-
buyout with no stipulation?
Why would you
what
do
are
that?
we
Why would you do
doing?
that? And by the way, I did see that. I
No
did see
wonder
that.
Brian
article on
Kelly went to LSU. I'll take that deal. Give me 3 years and a $50 million buyout with no
It was
stipulations.
so
I'm
funny
in.
because it wasn't just Ed Orgeron, it wasn't just Nick Saban. Apparently, Rex Ryan was interested as
Oh
well.
God,
And who
that's the
wouldn't
worst
be? It's a
idea I've ever
50
heard.
I
Rex
mean,
Ryan in the Bayou?
golly.
Please.
Yeah,
would
but can we
not
be
work.
honest? Anyone
you
could
know
be
that
better
man would
than
be eating
Brian
some
Kelly.
gumbo.
Yeah, you definitely eat some gumbo. No
No
doubt
doubt.
about that. All right, boys, we've gone on way too long. But great show tonight.
Don't
in
worry, we're
spite
gonna
of
have a
it.
long show tomorrow
It
night.
started
anyway.
with me and Marcus saying things you shouldn't probably say, and then it ends with us talking about Rex Ryan.
Donald
I
Trump.
could take that some really weird places. Rex Ryan's done some weird stuff.
How
He's
did
done
we
some
end
weird
up
stuff.
talking about Donald Trump on a sports
Uh,
show? I just
Oh well, he
Getting
inserts himself in
wacky on a
everything.
Wednesday.
Indeed,
it is
indeed.
wacky.
And it's been a long one, but let's call it a night. Thanks to all of our
Good deal.
sponsors who make it all possible, especially the OGs Mickelson Law Firm and our partners in local sports, WHHI TV. And thanks to all of you who showed up to listen or watch. We got Marcus Walsh, Max Raj, Wes Kerr, and I'm Justin Jarrett. We'll be back tomorrow night to preview some more games and tell you about the ones on tap Thursday.
Yep. I think
night in the Lowdown.
is everyone coming to the den tomorrow?
I think that's the move, unless
think
it's
it
too
is,
cold
too.
and I stay home and watch it on TV. But we'll see
Oh,
how
I
it
don't
that
have a
shakes
too.
out.
choice.
So we'll see you tomorrow night.
Two of us will be there
So
for sure.
again, for Marcus Walsh, Max Raj, Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Loco.